One of the things that actually really disturbs me now, listening to debates, is it's a classic dialogue of the deaf. People just shout at each other. There's no actually exchange of anything. And one of the interesting things is all government, all policies seem to be based on the mind over matter. Those who matter don't mind, and those who mind don't matter. Which actually was, if I remember correctly, the financier Bernard Baruch. So I'm just very disappointed that I think everybody knows what the problems are, everybody knows what has to be done, that there isn't a debate, and everything is about wedge politics in the entire thing. So I find the whole thing extremely frustrating, and I now vote, mind you, I'm in Malcolm Turnbull's electorate, so who I vote for doesn't really matter, but I basically vote for nobody.
Malcolm would be upset at that.
He would. I think the demonstration last week would have been fine if it had been short, sharp. There was a question, someone waved a banner, end of story. But there was a persistence there, an attempt to take over the show, which was a shame because people did have their chance to make their point. I think that the issues, though, that Das is raising, I think Parliament has become a place where a lot of people feel all we do is scream at each other. They think question time is what happens for the rest of the day, that couple of hours, which is only posturing to see who can get their visage on the TV that night. That's what question time is about, nothing to do with making policy. And that's a disappointment to me. I really...
Is that a fundamental disappointment you found when you got there?
Yes, I imagined that all of Parliament would be useful and increase, if not preserve, the sense of respect for our democracy, because we are a fantastic democracy. But in fact, I have school kids constantly in the Parliament House. They've come 1,000 k's to come and see Parliament.
And they go away very disappointed.
They go away very disillusioned. Now, I feel concerned about that, so I go and sit in their schools after and say, hey, that was just showtime for the men. It wasn't really what it was all about. But let me say, what
would you do to change it, apart from, for example, getting rid of some of the men?
Well, having at least 51% of the women in the chamber on both sides representing Australia's diversity. I would have all questions on notice from the opposition, whoever the opposition is. No, Dorothy Dexter from your own side, that's a nonsense. And the questions would be sifted by the clerks as to whether they were parliamentary and appropriate and directed to the right person, who had the responsibility for that area. You'd have 25% of the questions could come from the public, which would be have a form to do that. And then the minister in question or the Prime Minister would have a set time to answer each of those questions on notice.
Parliamentary Q&A.
Something like that, and then maybe we could get real answers to questions.
We'll come and do it for you if you like.
Well, Tony, you could be Speaker.
Yeah.